Hi everyone, Sam here from Gravitywell with another 2-Minute Tuesday, this time about Core Web Vitals. So, Web Vitals form part of the guidance and tools which are used by Google to signal good user experience on the web. And what's happening in June this year is that Google's going to start to factor in 3 Core Web Vitals in their search ranking, and it's going to start positively or negatively impacting your position in Google search results. Another reason this is worth talking about now is that previously, Google's page ranking methodology has been a bit of a black box, and this reveals a lot about how they rank websites and gives us a hint of things to come. The new metrics shine a spotlight on UX in particular, which signals that we shouldn't be focusing all of our attention on the content experience, keywords, SEO, things like that. Those are still important, by the way, but start focusing on UX, particularly website performance, interactivity, accessibility. These are things that are going to have a real impact on users. And that's what Google are now beginning to shift their focus to when it comes to page ranking. So technically, what makes up these 3 Core Web Vitals? The first metric is largest contentful paint, or LCP. This is essentially how long does it take to load the largest thing on the page. For example, that might be a full width image, or if you have a hero piece of text above the fold. Most things you do to optimize your site will improve this metric because it's all about getting your page as visually complete as fast as possible. So use a CDN, don't let requests block the page load, progressively load images. All of these will have a great impact on LCP. The next Core Web Vital is called First Input Delay, FID. This is all about how your page performs once a user starts interacting with the page for the first time. That might be tapping on a button, scrolling down the page. Does the site feel janky, stutter, feel unresponsive? The goal here is to let the user interact with the page as quickly as possible and not be impacted by something loading in the background. So how to improve FID? Only load the bare minimum that the user needs to get going. Minimize third-party scripts, which make the user wait for all of the information to download before they can actually interact with the page. Delay this stuff or avoid it completely if it's not useful. It means that when your users interact with the page for the first time, it works really quickly and really smoothly. The final Core Web Vital to look at is Cumulative Layout Shift, or CLS. This shift occurs when the page loads in some text and then images, videos, ads load in where the text was and causes the layout to move around. It's frustrating and janky at best, and at worst, it can mean that you go to click on something, an ad loads in its place, you end up clicking on the ad instead of your intended button, and it's a nightmare. It's harder to fix, but it's all about good planning. You have to know where media, widgets and ads are going to load, and the size they'll load at, and then ideally show a placeholder or skeleton UI before it fully renders. Progressively loading images with blow-up techniques will avoid the layout shifting whilst the images load in higher res. Fonts should be loaded efficiently to avoid flashes of the default system fonts, which might be a different size, which might make the text wrap differently, before your custom font loads in. So for all of these Web Vitals, Google measures them using field data collected over time, and not just lab data like you get in Lighthouse tests, which just take a snapshot. It factors in your whole site and not just your homepage. If you get consistently good scores on these metrics, then it will give your page ranking a boost. It might be small to begin with, but in the future, Google are likely to put more onus on these Web Vitals, as well as introduce more. Thank you for watching.